JSA issue 14, Jeff Lemire writing with Gavin Guidry on the art. So, yeah, we had a lot of plot lines going. This is the second part of year one, of course. And basically all these pairings kind of continue here for a little bit. So it's a lot like the last issue, I think. If you like the last issue of GSA, you'll probably like this one. It starts off with Jay Garrick running after some gangsters or whatever, but it turns out they're also part of this, white supremacy group, and he goes looking for where they were digging around and where they might have planted explosives, and that ends up having him run into some other characters a little bit later on. But Alan Scott ends up teaming up with Jim Corrigan, who comes in to the crime scene that was left at the end of the last issue. And he's very skeptical of Green Lantern, but we stick with them for some time, which I was kind of happy to see. I was a little bit worried that we were just going to be jumping around characters too much. But we actually continue with them for a couple of scenes where they go underground through these tunnels, investigating, and they even start to notice things like the beams look, they're not like almost like they've been designed to fail at some point, like they're supposed to buckle. Meanwhile, you've got Sandman interacting with Hourman and finding these test tubes and various people tied up.
Yeah, it looks like they're growing people or they're preserving people in these big, gigantic, like, vats.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking growing people. I was thinking, like, they're trying to change people with whatever,
Gotcha.
Yeah, because, I
mean,
think
that makes sense.
Yeah, I think Hourman was speculating this was his, like, stuff that they were using. I wonder if it's more than just that, though. It feels like, a lot. Yeah. So that's going on, and then we also have, of course, Atom, who ends up teaming up with someone else as well in this issue. Hippolyta shows up as Golden Age Wonder Woman, and she's been tracking this team, or this group of Nazis as well, and she's like, if you don't get in my way, I will allow you to accompany me, and, whatever. I like her vibe. I love that it's noticeably different to Diana, with her attitude. Like, she's very kind of immediately like, don't piss me off, which is very different to Diana.
Yeah, the way that she is talking down to Al, the Atom, immediately, and is like, come before you alert them with your lumbering about. And then the next panel is, I don't know how someone so small can make so much noise, which I felt, right? Because I get, told, despite my size, I make too much noise, But yeah, completely different than Diana. But it did make me wonder how they're, the whole Hippolyta of it all and the whole Wonder Woman origin, how this always works, But it's good seeing her there.
Well, it's always hard to keep track of because they always change what the backstory is here. Was there a JSA? Wasn't there? Was Hippolyta in it? Wasn't she? Had anyone ever come from Paradise Island to the real world before Wonder Woman? These things always go back and forward, but clearly we're doing this here, so yeah. So she has a big full page spread where she jumps off, and then we also cut back to the Hawks, and Hawk Girl just completely takes care of the villains, and they're like, hey,
I love it. These
villains are here to go and get up to something, let's go and investigate what they're doing. So don't get me wrong, I still think there's maybe, at the very least, there's one, if not too many like teams of characters right now. I think what might have been better, and I said this about like a lot of the arcs in this book so far, to be honest, but I think here it's closer to being good in the right amount. But I think if they just, like, let's say, not had, say, the Hawks, or pick another group of characters in one of the other plots, and just like maybe did more of like two of the plot lines in one issue, right? So you got more of each one, and then pivoted for the next issue where we would then introduce the Hawks and do 2 issues worth of the Hawks stuff in one issue, kind of thing, as opposed to jumping around like 5 different things all in one issue twice in a row. Because when it cut to the Hawks, I went, oh yeah, there's this like branch of things happening as well. It's maybe just one too many, kind of thing.
Question: what's at the bottom of the Hawks page? Is that supposed to be them kissing?
That's them kissing in a heart. Yes.
Okay. It's okay because I see it now. It was giving me like a Rorschach kind of thing where I'm like, what is this supposed to be? And I don't mean like the character, I mean the actual Rorschach test. And then as I'm looking at it now, I see them in the heart, and I was like, I got to the bottom, I'm like, there's something wrong with my issue. Like I didn't get a panel.
It looks, it actually looks bizarrely like Two Count Olaf's kissing from a series of unfortunate events. That's what it really looked like to me.
It kind of does because the spiky hair, right? Of the right. Also, I hate, and this is just a taste thing, I hate the Golden Age Hawkman mask. The fact that we can see Carter smiling beneath the hawk that looks like it's smiling. And I get it. That's the era, you know. Things were different back then, but not a fan. Yeah.
So we go back to Alan Scott and Corrigan. And they run into Jay because he's down here checking things. So this is some of them. And Jay even says, hey, you're that Green Lantern guy. I've been hoping we'd run into each other. So this is their first time meeting. And Alan's a little bit standoffish with them. But the end of the issue is that Corrigan's sort of like paying attention to what they're saying, and we see the green glow in his eyes. And then we realize that others are watching through his eyes. And Dr. Fate and other magical characters, Zatara's there, for example, they're basically talking about how, the Spectre's going to come back, and he's either going to help this new team that's forming or they're not, and we have to let it play out as fate like decides, or destiny decides, as you will. We're not allowed to intervene. So, okay, I mean, obviously Dr. Fate's a part of the JSA as well, so it makes sense to pivot to him at some point.
So this looks like an early version of the Shadow Pact, which makes sense because the magic, you know, the Lords of Order were always trying to manipulate things, because you got Dr. Colt, Zatara, Madame Xanadu, and then the Dan Garrett Blue Beetle.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, all Golden Age characters, which again I love. You know, I have a fondness for this type of stuff. Is Jim Corrigan the Spectre yet or not? That's what I had a hard time figuring out.
I think the way they're looking through his eyes made me think that either they already know he's going to be, and that's why they're looking through his eyes, or maybe like it's starting to like brew in him already. Like he's not fully aware that he's the Spectre yet, but it's already like chosen him, kind of thing. Maybe. Yeah,
because in his discussion with Green Lantern and stuff, he's just like, you know, is it magic or something? And Alan Scott's like, why? Do you believe in magic? He goes, you'd be surprised what I believe in. And he's like, and what are you hiding? So I'm like, but then the way that the Shadow Pact characters make it makes it sound like he hasn't become the Spectre, because there's, you know, it's whatever happens next is what it determines, you know, from what Dr. Colt says. So
I kind of read that maybe as like the Spectre's already in him, but it's not been awakened yet, kind of thing.
Gotcha. He's been chosen, but he hasn't chosen it. Kind of
like he's not actually turned into the Spectre yet, but it's already inside him.
Which would mean that Corrigan has to die, because that's the origin. It's not fared well for Jay and Alan here with the fifth columnist, which I like that we get a group so we can just stop calling them Nazis, right? They're the fifth columnists. Same thing though. You know, different name for the same thing, but I do like that it gives it its own, you know, JSA villainy kind of name. So,
sure, it's a bit more pulpy.
Yeah. So, and then I don't think you might have breezed over it, but in Our Man and who's with Our Man? There's so many damn characters.
Sandman,
they get attacked by Cyclotron, who's a villain that's also in the lab. And Sandman gets taken out.
Yeah.
There too. So it definitely feels like there's a conspiracy brewing with all these different threads.
I think that was the other one where it felt so short to me that we could have maybe just like not had that and not had the Hawks, but just maybe bundle them into be more focused on them, like next issue kind of thing. But hey, he's doing that thing, Lemire, where he wants to jump around everyone at least once every issue. So,
but I will say, so far through these issues, this year one story has felt a bit more coherent, and I feel like we can see the threads pulling together. Like the fact that Jay and Alan have met now, so that story is coming together. And it's happening at a bigger clip. Still wondering what's going on with the Hawks, because that seems not like Sportmaster and that other lady were there, but they're dealt with so quick that it literally could have been anything. but there's a bunch of people in that jungle area that are collecting things. So I feel like, again, that ties in some way. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. Again, this is very pulpy. Golden Age, again, I have a soft spot for, you know, so seeing all these characters pop up, and was not expecting Dr. Occult, who's a character that until Wade brought him back in the pages of Justice League Unlimited, I was not fully aware of, you know. So to see him pop back up here, I think that's a lot of fun. And you can kind of see the kind of who's running things over at DC right now. We're getting a lot of these type of stories that are just pulling from the DC history in a fun way that doesn't feel like they're just going for the nostalgia pop of it all. Like, it makes sense that all these Golden Age characters are interacting in here. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, and Guidry's art fits that Golden Age style really well.
It's okay. Like, I don't think it's like, you know, amazing. And that's kind of how I feel about the book in general, to be honest, is that this is better than what it's been, but it's still not good enough. Like, it's still not as good as like Lemire or JSA sounded like it could have been. So I still kind of keep waiting, hoping that it's going to become that book, and I'm starting to think that it's not going to happen, to be honest. But it's because, you know, it's perfectly fine. You know, it's kind of, but you know, there's kind of this weird ceiling to it right now where it doesn't feel like it's reaching for the stars. It feels like Lemire's kind of doing his B tier work, if you will. But hey, as long as we stay with the Golden Age stuff and it stays this quality, I'm still locked in. You know, I'm okay to take the like you said. It sucks that it's not what we thought it was going to be, but as far as the Golden Age stuff right now is, it's hitting, it's scratching that itch for me. So I'm pretty okay with it. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Like, I almost wish this had art a bit maybe more like, not just because it's a year one, but I'm thinking like Batman and Robin year one, right? And maybe that's like a tall order, but like I feel like that would fit, like the you know, the inks of that would fit really well with this. Like, it almost feels like it's too clean, or not even too clean. Like, it's fine that it's clean, but it's not. I don't know, everything's very flat feeling.
Flat, it's flat. The shadows and whatnot. Like, like you're talking about, why am I drawing a blank? He's one of our favorite artists.
Samney.
Samney. Yeah. You're talking about a very heavily Samney style there, you know, which fits in that, you know, or even a Stampere kind of, where it gets some of that pop art, but you get the shadows and depth. Yeah, Guidry's art's a bit flat, but again, the colors and line work and all that stuff is all there, and it's very evocative of the Golden Age. So, yeah.
All right, what are you giving JSA?
I'm gonna give it 7.5.
I'm going to go with. I'll go with 7. I feel like the gap should be bigger than that 0.5, admittedly, but I think 7's about right for me just now. Like, I had a good time with it, but I am still kind of feeling like, oh, this feels like it should be even better. This feels like it should be great, and it's not great. It's merely good.